In this video of the unit circle, we're going to be talking about coordinates and quadrants. So let's go ahead and label our quadrants first. Our quadrants always start where everything is positive. So right here at the top right hand side is quadrant 1, and I'm just going to label it Q1. And then what happens is we move in the direction of the letter C, like in calculus. And so we're going to be moving into quadrant 2, which is our top left. I'm going to label this Q2. Then following our letter C, we're now down to the bottom left, Q3. And then again, following the letter C, we end up on the bottom right, which is quadrant 4. And let's look at each quadrant. If we look over here at quadrant 1, X's are positive and Y's are positive values. So in this quadrant, the X and the Y values are positive. If I'm over here in quadrant 2, I notice that my X values are negative and my Y values are positive. So X values are negative, Y values are positive. Now we're going to look down in quadrant 3. X values are negative, Y values are negative. So over here in quadrant 3, X and Y are negative. And over here in quadrant 4, X values are positive, Y values are negative. X positive, Y negative. So now that we have labeled our quadrants and we have a general idea of where our sines and cosines, or our X values and Y values, are positive and negative, we can go ahead and start labeling all of our coordinates. So again, our unit circle has a definition that a circle is centered at the origin of a coordinate plane with a radius of 1. Which means if I were to label this point right here, I know that I would be a distance of 1 on the x-axis and 0 on the y. If I come up here to the top where 90 degrees is, a radius of 1 means that I would be at 0 on the x and 1 on the y. Going to the left, a radius of 1, I am negative 1 on the x, 0 on the y. And down towards the bottom, radius of 1. This gives me 0 on the x, negative 1 on the y. Now, there is a pattern for filling in all of your 30, 45, and 60 degree angles for each individual quadrant. And so I'm going to demonstrate the very first quadrant, and I like to say it's easy as 1, 2, 3. So my advice is always to start at where the y-axis is. And so let's go ahead and label all of our parentheses, making room for both coordinates. So starting as close as I can to the y-axis, starting in the x values, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Again, easy as 1, 2, 3. Divide everything by 2. And square root all of the numerators. And notice that square root of 1 will simplify to 1. Square root of 3 does not simplify. Square root of 2 does not simplify. Square root of 3 does not simplify, but square root of 1 will simplify to 1. And now I have quadrant 1 finished, verifying that my x and y values are all positive. Now, just like in our degrees video, we notice that the same distance, 30 degrees and 150 degrees, are from the x-axis, which means that their coordinates will match in values, and we'll just have to change their signs. So we're going to look at quadrant 1, 30 degrees. Know that it's the same distance, 150 and 180. Go ahead and write in these coordinates. Square root of 3 over 2, comma 1/2. I'm going to do the same thing for 135 and 45. Square root of 2 over 2, square root of 2 over 2. And then 60 and 120, same distance, same values, 1/2. And square root of 3 over 2. Now let's just verify my x value should be negative, my y value should be positive. So I'm just going to go through and make sure all my x values are negative. And then if I wanted to check with my little trick, with my easy as 1, 2, 3, again, start as close as you can to the y-axis. That would be 120. Starting with our x coordinates, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. Again, easy as 1, 2, 3. Square root all of your tops. Divide all of your numbers by 2. And then just verify your coordinates are either negative or positive. All right, I'm going to do the same thing with quadrant 3 and 4. Knowing that 150 and 210 are the same distance from 180, I can use the same coordinates. I'm going to go ahead and put square root of 3 over 2 and 1/2. Then 135 and 225 will match, root 2 over 2, root 2 over 2. And then my last ones, 120 and 240 should match, 1/2 and square root 3 over 2. Now I need to make sure that I have negatives on both the x and the y values. And now my quadrant 3 is finished. And now I'm just going to match quadrant 3 and 4. These are the same distance, giving them same values. Next step, 225 and 315. And lastly, 210 and 330. So notice, as long as we were able to fill out quadrant 1, we're able to do all of the other quadrants because all of the angles have a similar pattern. So we have labeled our quadrants and our coordinates and verified our signs were either negative or positive. And that's the end of this video.